Hello and welcome to the Oracle Report brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Bosse. I'll be your Oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for a channeled reading. We're going to go ahead and impose the guidance from This Might Hurt Tarot. That's by Isabella Rotman over at Liminal 11 Publishing. If you're new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing us the pleasure to do so. You belong, so welcome home. Vertex of Abundance is the Galactic Temple of Ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything resonates deeply with you, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. If you have a desire to speed up or slow down the playback speed, it's usually in the video or audio settings, not the site or app settings. Just a little housekeeping there. We're going to go ahead and lay 4 cards and then say the opening prayer. Each additional card that comes out will be to clarify or modify, but these 4 cards will be the central energy, the core energy for this entire spread. We will also be deliberating the findings with the Cosmic Coven Tarot, Minor Arcana, which is where we clarify any pairings or matches. We also use the Vita Sibila to deliberate any findings that's by, or additional findings that's by Los Scarabeo, and we use that to clarify any correlative or corresponding energy. We may use other decks, those will be explained at that time. To all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Honoponopono, we love you, we're sorry, please forgive us, thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this life. May we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. We have the Sun, Devil, Justice, 5 of Cups, again, Sun, Devil, Justice, 5 of Cups, finally, Sun, Justice, Sun, Devil, Justice, 5 of Cups. The Sun and the Devil can talk about an eclipse, can talk about overt aggression, can talk about something coming out of the dark, okay? So this is an eclipse because of the directionality here and the order. And what's getting eclipsed is a darker energy because there's been some kind of darker law. Usually it's the law of lesser magic, but it could be demonality in general, especially with a 5. This specific 5 does not mean archonic energy, meaning like an arch demon, but it does often feel like before, up until now, like in the distance past, not so much recent past, there could have, and the 5, if you're on the audio that I'm talking about, is 5 of Cups. Normally the 5 of Swords would mean like Archon. With the Justice and the Sun card, that could be also children's rights, which doesn't always mean like child, bambino, ragazzi, you know. It could mean, offspring. It could mean child of the divine. It could mean chosen. It could mean a member or participant of an organization if there's some energy or cycles going on in the higher levels. The organization could be a group, a family, even a unit if they're communally located together. For instance, an apartment building, a trailer park, or even a neighborhood. Again, the justice and the devil could mean demonality, literally something that's going on with the underworld, with the rules, the laws, the interactions of demons. Now, I do know that this is something that was karmic. It had to be adjudicated, deliberated, because the justice card is out, and we have the 5 of Cups. which means there's some need to accept defeat always because this devil is here. So something could have been unfair, something could have been duplicitous, something could have been sun in reverse, prideful, vainglorious, illusionary success. Now, there was some previous mourning, some previous grief, maybe even regret, which has brought this kind of cycle to fruition, helping it move along to align itself, Justice card, get right up, live right, live righteously. It's just that it took an excess, an abnormal amount of darkness or shadow or bondage, whatever the devil is, fear, falsities, illusion, ignorance. It took a large amount of that in order for this cosmic function to step in. And I'm feeling like it was the law of lesser magic. So what's going to happen is that the power's going to be put back in our hands, or we're going to be left with our ignorance. It's either or. The same energy there's two unique groups of people here. So those who are still wallowing in their ignorance, illusion, falsities, fear, they're still attached or in bondage in the lower functions. They're still in their ego. They're still in their basal instinctual need to survive. And it doesn't always mean that there's a physical threat. The ego can be threatened enough to make you turn into dark means and mechanisms. They're going to be left to their own devices. Others of us are going to go through that shadow and darkness, but when the opportunity to come out of it comes out, we're going to seize that opportunity quick on the quick, fast, quick, speedily, readily. We're going to go barreling back into the light, barreling back into the freedom, growth, expansion, vitality, enumeration, enlightenment, whatever the stone card means, healing even. Recognizing the divinity within us, that childlike spirit within us. Okay. The devil, when it's in its positive aspect, could mean digging underground, getting to the depths of things, going below the surface, having some kind of internal, primordial, ancient, or even genetic power. It oftentimes can be terrifying to other people. So if we're in the devil position, we could just be too powerful, indomitable. It's something that somebody will need to conquer within themselves before they can come and face us. Okay. And ultimately, it just means like some people are going to be left to the dark because they're living in the dark and they don't want to seek the light. That's the thing about purgatory. The exit out of purgatory is clearly marked. In order to go towards that, you need to confront fear, you need to confront truth. A lot of people can't confront the karma, cannot yield to the truth, cannot serve the universal oneness and the unconditional love of the divine. So they're left in the dark, even though the exit is clearly marked, even though the thing to do, which is face their fears, have love in their heart, a smile on their face, a pep in their step, have unconditional love, I'm saying, in their heart. Yield to the truth, meaning an authentic, genuine, sincere frequency, energy, vibration. There are beings in this universe that cannot do that. We have the moon. When the sun and the moon come out, it means a melodrama or something's coming to light. With the Two of Swords, there is deliberation here. And it's been going on for the last month. Something's been trying to work out, some type of projection. I do see issues and energies, and I say issue because I think it's produced an alert, a notification, a mechanism. We see it. We see karma playing itself out. We see people getting their comeuppance, karma coming back to lick people that were once doing the dirty, that were once setting the flames, fanning the flames. Now the flames are jumping up and licking them back. We're seeing people get their little shot across the bow from karma, and their little karma come around. And it's coming forward. We see it comes across our horizon, horizon. It literally walks across our path, or we see a little flare go into the sky. Page of Swords with the Two of Swords means, there's a petition of dichotomy. There's two sides of the coin here, and actually something's being heard or seen by the divine. There's a creative new beginning because we've been able to go within and find the light. Yes, we might have been dealing with somebody who's overly toxic. It could be malignant, it could be covert. We don't know. But it is that kind of, validation seeking, hyperfixation on some kind of curated narrative, whether they're hyper insecure, they're hypersensitive, they're hyper vigilant. It's maladaptive, idiosyncratic, perfunctory. It might be rigid and pervasive. Going there, I'm going there. And this has been going on for some time, but we're going to see that over the next 2 months, all the avenues out of the dark, all the avenues out of the toxicity, all the avenues out of the bondage kind of pop up, make themselves known. And we're learning, pay the swords. We're looking into our heart, into our soul, into our mind, into our body, into our spirit, to learn the intellect, reasoning, communication, to learn the technical skills, to be prepared for the supreme power coming back in to move on, move forward. So not only are we having experience of stumbling onto those paths, but we're being taught, we're being informed, we're being instructed by the universe on how to navigate said paths. Two of Pentacles is negotiate, navigate. Sometimes is remaining present and participating. We have a preponderance of twos here, a pair of twos, two twos. Two twos in a reading mean partnership. A Two of Pentacles is about attending to things or dealing with the seas of time or some type of administration here. It's about paying particular attention to the divine aspects in our own nature, attending to those, but also going within, using our own wise wisdom. Knowledge is wisdom once it's been applied and experienced. Because otherwise, you just have understanding if you apply knowledge, but you usually have wisdom when that said knowledge or understanding has been experienced. You've gone through some trials and tribulation in the physical. So there is some purging and some clearing here. Seven of Cups is to clear. Five of Cups is to purge. Two of Swords is deliberation. There's a closed crossroad. We have the Three of Wands, where the crossroads for us is opening specifically. So we see some things, some people, some beings, some energies, some entities, some ideologies not being able to continue, carry on, to carry forward. However, for us, roads are opening. And we do see the other side trying to negotiate, navigate, trying to parcel through and piece through really all the energy they put out there. Seven of Cups, all the unhealed, unawakened glamour, falsities, mirages, smoke screens that they've been putting out, putting forward. They're going to need to, it's quicksand for themselves. They've created it. Yeah, see, they're trying to waddle through all of their Seven of Cups, all their projections, Two of Pentacles. They're trying to navigate, negotiate through all of their projection energy. That's not going to work. It's karma's justice card. But they brought this on themselves. Seven of Cups with the justice card. They brought this upon themselves. Somebody here has Jupiter in Pisces. So there's an expansion of the imagination. There's an expansion of the afterlife or the hereafter, the world just beyond ours. We have the Nine of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Empress, and the King of Cups. So yeah, for this other side, peace be upon them. Blessings to their healing and awakening. They're being stripped of this creative and nurturing energy. And if they have any type of blessings and favors and anointings and stuff, and they've created and cultivated that, it's not really going to carry on and continue. Their abundance came out of something unfair. They're servile, they're basic, they're boring, they might be lazy, dull, They're being exiled because they're being stripped or abandoned or left out. They do, like I said, have this illusionary success, vainglorious. They're a spy or some type of overly scrutinizing. There's been some kind of oath breaking, covenant breaking. There's this energy, this intention, this desire, this orchestration machination to divert, turn something upside down, invert its intention, corrupt it even. There's temptations here, temptations to the dark. Something's been falsified as well. Whatever this other party, this other energy that's mirroring us that we're connected to, they're getting canceled out. Ten of Swords. They're being exiled. Five of Pentacles. And I'm going that extreme because the devil is here. And the way that this energy works, it's like finally the good energy is coming back to us and the bad energy is going where it belongs when there was some type of intention to have it not seen that way. And this was an agreement we made in the divine Six of Cups. We decided this before we were born. So they are the tests that we passed and we are the tests that they failed. I want to clarify a couple few things here. We have a pair of fives, which means debilitation, degradation, decline, destabilization. Okay, I want to see something that's real quick. Okay. Something wanted the worst for us. I don't know another way to say that. It was a slow energy and it was some type of collective too. I think it was a planned exile meant for us, and the tables turned to a pentacles. Something for a long time, Knight of Pentacles was trying to strip us, bind us in some kind of way, and they did it through, or this energy went through a collective, or it was collaborative. Three of Cups. It was multiple beings. And this was tactical and intentional. It was militaristic almost. King of Swords. It was ruthless, tactless, merciless. But that suddenly turned around. We went through some type of karmic kind of wands. We went through some type of karma. So this pair of fives is, yeah, that was witchcraft. Some kind of intentional. Okay, so that got canceled out. Some kind of spell broke or curse broke or something of that nature. Curse lifted or spell broke. I'm gonna leave it like that. It's not always abracadabra hocus pocus. I don't know. Spell could just mean a group of people get together and plan on a character assassination. It's more dynamic than the linear, logical, rational language. We have a pair of kings here as well. That means an alliance. And again, Queen of Swords, something wanted to take something away from us. um, the combination is the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Swords. That's an entitlement. There was an energy that found us to be threatening and they wanted to ruin us in some kind of way or block us. And it did happen. If it did, it was in the distant past. That's kind of over. Because now we found our divine power. We're working. Our energy is kind of aligned to go towards whatever it is. And there was a collaboration, cooperation, coordination. But see, the thing is, we're doing the same thing, but with the divine. We're tapped into our own divine power, and there's something here that this is kind of present. Uh, I hate to say it. So let me say it this way. Not always do people get together and plan on doing us dirty. Yes, oftentimes that doesn't mean, and it probably is true. There are other times when somebody could be possessed of a spirit. I'm just going to say it that way. Enough people could have gotten the wrong idea, and it's like a collective stupidity. It doesn't even have to be a large group, three or more. They don't even always have to be co-located because these are all different suits. It might be the perfect storm of the stupid, crazy, the dumb, the loco, the lulu. It could be the perfect storm of unsavory, unmitigated mess. It could be a total crap show. Uh, there's nothing else to say here without becoming uncivilized. There is a energy here on the precipice, meaning at the just beyond the boundary of what we can see, know, or easily discern, that feels entitled Nine of Wands to make sure that the group or the collective or the gate keeps us or polices us some way. But the thing is, we've tapped into whatever energy, if this is a spiritual mechanism, if it is energy projection or spiritual manipulation, we've tapped into that energy that might have been used against us, even if it's an altar, okay? We've tapped into that and we're utilizing it for our own manifestations, even so much so that it's been shown at the terminal point now here. Nine of Swords means something's been exploited and seized upon, but also we can take advantage of that. Which another word for that is the power is in our hands, even if we don't see, know, understand that. Even if things were stacked against us, we could take advantage of it. Our own good. So let's clarify this pair of twos. So we had the pair of twos is partnership. We also had the, I mean, excuse me, yeah, partnership. And we had the pair of kings, which was an alliance. We had the pair of fives. Now, this page of swords with the Justice card could be some kind of Aries rising. It's or we also have the Three of Wands here, which means if there's an Aries rising, they might have their sun in the first house, most likely Aries. Somebody here could be a Libra South node as well. Now, there may be Mars in Capricorn, Mars in the 10th house, or Capricorn rising here with the Knight of Pentacles and the Devil. Somebody here could also be a Capricorn moon, moon in the 4th house with the Devil and the Queen of Pentacles. To a lesser degree, they could be a Libra rising. For the Libra rising, they could have their node in their 7th house. So first 7th house, they expect people to work towards them, work together with them. That doesn't always happen. They might have wanted something out of us here. Because see, the whole reading, I kept hearing it, but I couldn't see it. It's this pair of aces. I kept saying union when I meant to say, or I kept wanting to say union and I kept outcoming partnership, but they're both here. A pair of twos is partnership, a pair of aces is union. We have both of them. So let's clarify this pair of twos. Okay, 10 of cups. So, I'm getting something that I can't really clarify in these cards because it's almost like we can make it all the way. There's something that's going to take us the whole way. The life that's intended for us, or whatever our intentions are in terms of fulfillment of a wish, desire, it'll happen for us. And there's an energy, entity, ideologies in our environment, surrounding location, most likely an enemy, something of a separate or an opposing ideological background. It could be an energy, it could be an actual person. We keep getting confirmations on another person in the form of an enemy, known or unknown. Because the way the seven is looking, we don't know who this person is. They're not overt to our face. It will come out, devil with the sun card. That's overt aggression. It's not passive aggressive. It's overt, macro aggressive. It's just in this position of others, they're going through whatever they imposed upon us. And it's the Five of Swords. They tried to block, tried to destroy, betray. This agreement with the divine Six of Cups is getting canceled out, Ten of Swords. They're regressing. Since the devil's here, they're regressing. They're not able to move on, move forward. They're not able to go back to that childlike heart. Their innocence has been lost. It might have been destroyed. Their heart, they can't reconnect to it. It's possible, but they're going to need to have some higher power come in and give them the divine assist. They're a returner, Knight of Wands, so they keep coming back in to do this thing. They're coming from having destroyed us in the past, trying to get us out of good favor with the collective Ten of Cups. And they keep coming back in, Knight of Wands to Three of Swords, bind, triangulate, destroy the heart, pierce the heart of the matter, so penetrate, infiltrate. The thing is, they can't because we're the owner of this energy. So the energy that they're trying to use to divide or to deplete or to disperse or dispense or deject, that's energy that this practitioner, whether it's a witch or not, is trying to impose upon us. That energy actually reports to us through sacred agreement. We have the crown to that energy. It's like trying to evict a landlord from their own house. It doesn't work, not unless you're the bank, not unless you're the divine treasury, and they're not. They're scheming here. They're lower grade than us the whole time. This is like epic ego. That's why the enemy got cast down to the pit, because they wanted to be larger and in charge. They wanted to be head honcho, the ruler of the divine, and they're not. They're not. That's a complex ego issue. We call that grandiose. Let's move on. So what is this pair of aces then? Yeah, so it's telling me that they wanted minions when they really needed to find mentors. It's not funny, but it is hilarious. I don't mean to laugh, I do mean to cackle. Okay, so we're on high ground, Seven of Wands. And remember, if something's trying to take you down, they're already beneath you. They're doing that wishy wishy cuckoo thing, that quabbling, quibbling, yelling, yelling, whining, and wailing, harping and haranguing, and all of that. It's the Three of Pentacles here. So orchestrations, machinations. They can't take us down one on one, so they're trying to, find some flying monkeys. They're trying to enlist other unhealed, unawakened to join their little bandwagon, but they're all singing off key here. They're really tone deaf. There's a fundamental and very obvious thing that they're overlooking. We're the genuine article. And you see, what they're coming up against is the genuine article, and on the other side of this mountain that they're trying to assail is more of the genuine article, which is us. We're unified. Now, they may be trying to work on or out of some type of unauthorized agreement, soul tie, or something of that nature. And they may be trying to connect to us through someone that we're connected to, whether we know it or not. And that would be our twin. We just had a confirmation on that. So some of the work that they're doing now, the witchcraft and the spellcraft, that they're trying to tap into, which they've done successfully already. Eight of Pentacles oftentimes means the spell that's working. And see, it's in quarantine. our spiritual, this should be a Four of Wands. It isn't. It's the Four of Swords, which is the quarantine card. But this is our kingdom spouse. We had the Ten of Cups, now we have the Ten of Pentacles. And it didn't come up here on the board. So let's clarify a few more things on the nuts, though. What is this Capricorn rising energy? Because it could also be Mars in Capricorn, Mars in the 10th house. There's a skilled practitioner. Speranza means many things. It does mean hope. But it's also, we might not be culturally oriented, but it also is a practitioner who's used to getting their way. Something here is not growing, and that was their intention. They're looking at this growth be stymied. Okay. Okay, so I want to see what this King of Swords with the Ten of Swords is, because we cut them down. I don't mean it that way, but I said it, so we we cancel them out, indeed. Well, whatever this is, we put it to bed. We're just kind of done. The time has come. La fortuna, la ruota. The time is done, put over. We put it to bed. We lay it to rest. We move on from it as if it's a thing from the past. And it happens suddenly, hilardo. We might not have wanted or intended to do that, but this, the way that the cards were played, the circumstances as it happened, that's what we were left with. Because we were called, we had a duty obligation, and then we took some type of oath to the divine, and so we put it to rest. What is this? Nine of Cups with the moon, because that normally means Jupiter in Pisces, some type of divine assist. Yeah, so there's an energy here trying to get into the fortress. What this fortress is in my father's house, there are many rooms. Yeah, so they tried to do some unauthorized soul union to us to get a room in the mansion. That didn't happen. I'm speaking metaphorically here. We have some type of divine access. They're trying to borrow our cloud, borrow our energy, use our name in the divine realm to make it some way. They may also be trying to give themselves a little ego boost by saying that they took us down, when they don't realize that we represent something that they don't have. We have some type of characteristic, some type of quality innately that they don't have, and they're projecting onto us. Instead of stopping stuff, reflecting, self-accountable, saying, hey, I should learn from you, they're saying, no, I need to destroy you. And there's despair here. Disperata per jealousy. Jealousy or despair. Because something's not working. They're in distress because of the secret movements that they're making, sacerdote. Is double speak on their side. And I've seen this thrice now. We're actually more distressed because we're not being ruthless in how we handle this. But I can see that as the hermit, yeah, see, we really are not apt to snatch somebody up. Yeah, we're not prone to snatch somebody to filth. But you see, it's causing a great. We're going to turn around and nip this in the bud, and it's going to be most particularly unpleasant, although quite necessary. All civility has been exhausted, and as such, we're left with sheer devastation. But we can weather that storm. We'll survive. They'll be complete. They won't get back up, unfortunately. So this has said that we've gone through a battle energetically where we were targeted because of our innate beauty, which is our heart and our loving nature, our innocent, childlike spirit, whether we believe it or not. We, even if we're the most surly person that we know, there's something inside of us divine, which always means we have a childlike heart. Maybe we're loving, caring, kind. Maybe we're seeking and inquisitive and curious. Maybe we have some divine essence and quality within us that was attacked. But really, I'm going to say we have access in a way, divine access. That's what, yeah. We have divine access in some kind of way, and that's what was targeted. Something tried to reach the divine or ascend the stairs to heaven through us. And ultimately, they wanted us to seek their approval so that we would become some type of obedient thing. That's called virtue signaling. Okay, I mean, respectability politics, they were tone policing and concern trolling and compassion baiting and tone policing and virtue signaling and individuality shaming. And they wanted that to bring us down a peg or two so that we were engaged with them seeking their approval. And that's never what happened. They know justice is coming. They know they're about to be slayed because they're a dragon. They, and a raw natural force has become unkempt. In nature, the universe abhors a vacuum. So they're going to be cut down. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's two swords here. I'm just going to say this and move on. They're going to be cut down. Okay, that's just as it is. And we're sitting there on the throne now. So this reading is expect to celebrate ourselves. We can slow down because we're no longer seeking expectation, affirmation, affection, approval from others. We should be seeing it from ourselves. A revolution has been started on our behalf by the ancestors, whatever our spirit team is. The exalted ones that have passed forth that we've known and have not a familiar relationship to, those would be what we call the benevolent ancestors. Also, there are ascended masters and guardian angels here. So they're filing charges on our behalf with the divine and celestial court. It doesn't matter if we tell them we don't want to press charges. This is like a DV. The cosmic forces of the universe are just going to take this out of our hands and file it with the governing archangel. They're not going to sit there and wait for us to put our 2 cents in or ask us if we want to go ahead with the case. They don't care. If it's up, it's up. They get what they get because they did what they did. And that's just what it is. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing us to do so. Go ahead and smash that like button. And again, if anything resonated deeply with you, go ahead and comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a consult, send a donation. Until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dhanava, and Ashe, Sayonara, Dasvidanya, Avidazain, Arrivederci, au revoir. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.